Right.
Oh, there it is. It's there. Yep.
There we go. And then Peter can get started whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I am sitting next to, one of the busiest, noisiest roads in a small town, Concord Road. Did I say that like a local? Concord?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully you can hear most of what I have to say. And the most important thing I want to say is thank you for being willing to be a host family for our new members. I think that some of you have heard me offer a couple of the things that I'm going to say now, but at almost 1,500 members, we're probably in the top 1% of PCUSA congregations by size. Our worshiping community puts us in the top 10% of American communities of faith. And that includes, synagogues, mosques, churches. So we're not a mega church, but we're not a small church. And then when you add in the fact that we have 3 services of worship, and you can understand why one of our biggest challenges, and it's not a horrible thing, it's just a reality, is being connected. Anytime a church of any size has more than one service, it has to ask itself, what makes us more than 2 congregations meeting under the same roof? And you are one of the ways that our new members can feel like they are part of a community of faith, because finding your way into a large, complex organization that has 3 different main meeting times with some 30 plus small groups to be a part of, it's not always easy and apparent what the language they're speaking here is and where to find opportunities. And I sometimes think if I could summarize your role as a host family, it's number 1, to be a good neighbor. And number 2, it's to be an interpreter. It's to be an interpreter of our life together, so that when someone says, hey, Glenette, what is a PW circle? You can say, well, that's a Presbyterian women's circle. Well, that's great, Glenette. What makes a circle different from a square? And you can explain that it's a quasi-fellowship group that often follows a curriculum that PW circles from around the country are also studying. And it's a great way to meet other women who are part of our Presbyterian church. You get the drift. Part of our calling is to interpret and then ultimately to invite people to find places other than only worship. I don't know if the numbers hold true anymore. A certain number of things that I quote were pre-pandemic, but once upon a time, every 6 weeks that someone didn't get involved in something outside of worship, you cut in half the likelihood that they were going to stay a part of the church. And of course, we all know that why that probably is the case. I saw Molly Simons is on here. She's way too young, but those of us of a certain age can remember Cheers, where everybody knows your name. We want to walk in the door and have someone go, Joe, Glenette, Molly. And a way to do that is host families and small groups. And so thank you for being willing to be that face, that interpreter, that invitation person. I just want to give you one little asterisk, and then I'll turn it over to Stephanie. Sorry, there's a really noisy trailer going by. One little asterisk, and then I'll turn it over to Stephanie to talk about what is kind of an outline of how to do this. It is not all up to you. Even as I talk about the role that you're going to play and helping interpret and invite and to connect, whether or not someone feels connected, whether or not they become a deep and longtime member of this church is not all on your shoulders. There's the Holy Spirit, and then there's the new member in addition to you. You guys are a Trinity, and you have your role to play, but so does the new member, and so does God. So even as I kind of lift you all up as part of saying thank you and giving a sense of the vision for this, just know it's not a pressure. Hopefully nothing else. At the most, it's an opportunity for you to get to know someone else more, for you to feel even more connected and to better understand our church. And so thank you for being willing to do this. And I hope it's of benefit to you. Stephanie, I haven't been on email since earlier today, but I'm assuming folks got a host family job description that you're going to talk about a little bit. And everybody, if I slip away at some point before I can answer questions, we do have a session meeting tonight. And I'm just trying to be attentive to 2 places and 2 calls tonight.
Yes. They do all have the host job description. And I'll put this on the screen. And I'm not going to read it to you. Obviously, we're trying to keep this short, but you can read that for yourself. The things that I want to point out are the dates on the calendar. So the first one that's really important is this Sunday at 8:45. Our class starts in the congregation house, and we're going to have coffee and breakfast, or breakfast foods. And our class, the piece that you're involved in is the introductory piece, which begins at 9, and that is where we go around the whole circle. And there are going to be new members, host families, members of the membership committee, and some staff people that are there in that introductory process. And we're going to give you a script, a way to introduce yourself to keep it succinct so that everybody is kind of saying the same thing, and we get it all done in about 45 minutes or so. I do know that there are a couple of families right off the bat where the host cannot be there this Sunday, which is not ever a deal breaker for a host family. We prefer that you're there on the Sunday that the members join, but it's not a deal breaker. So that's part of the reason why we are recording this session. And they are going to be able to reach out to their new member before this Sunday, which is going to be really great. The next date on the calendar is May 5th at 3:00 in the afternoon, also in the congregation house. It's what we call a new member host family gathering. And we're actually inviting the January class and the April class to come to this gathering. And it's really fun. It's just a short little hour of nothing but icebreakers and snacks and games. And it's really fun. Sometimes Robert, if he feels like busting out a guitar and singing a song, we'll do that too. So those are the two most important dates. The rest is just, I'll just note that it's a 6-month technically commitment. And really, we just need you to check in with your new member several times in the first 6 months of their time being a new member, and just seeing how they're doing and if they're getting connected to a Sunday school class or a Bible study. And, if you do go to the same worship service as they do, offering to sit with them or inviting them to come sit with you at worship is also a great way to get to know them better and to make them feel more comfortable in our space. So, do you guys have any questions about that particular document or about the dates?
Stephanie,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say this, but I am not going to be there on Sunday.
Okay.
My sister had to have emergency surgery today, and I'm leaving tomorrow to go up to UVA.
Oh
And
goodness, I'm so sorry.
so I had no idea. I mean, this came up clearly out of the blue. She's been battling cancer, but this is sort of taking a turn for the worse. So I'm going to go ahead and call Carol tonight. I wanted to. So you had asked me if I had met her at the Pines, and I have not, but I'm going to go ahead and call and schedule a time to get together with her next week.
Okay.
Because I probably will not come back until late Sunday evening. So
Gotcha.
And maybe longer, just depends on what the situation is. So
okay.
So anyway,
I'm
I'm sorry
to hear that, Susan. We'll be praying for you for sure.
Well, thank you so much. And I will be there. I will be here on the 5th. So that's also graduation weekend for one of my grandchildren, but I'll be driving home that day. So I'll be back in time for the 3:00.
Same for me. My daughter graduates from NC State on May 3rd, and we'll be there May 4th also, but we'll be coming back on the 5th. So I've got the same thing.
So anyway, I'm sorry. When I talked to Motri about it, of course, had no idea that I wouldn't be here, but I will reach out to Carol and talk to her and set up a time to meet her.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Right away.
And we'll have several members of the membership committee at the new member class. And so we'll be able to sit with her and make sure that she feels welcomed and like she has somebody with her.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Susan, do you know that Carol's father was a Presbyterian minister?
No, who was her dad?
You have Carol Martin, right?
Yeah,
yes.
I do.
I'm not sure where he was a Presbyterian pastor, but I know that for some period of time, she and her son John, who's already a member, they were in the Statesville area, but I don't know if that was while she was growing up, but you should ask her about that.
Yeah, since I'm a PK too, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
See, we always think that we're making good choices with the hosts family matchups, but
All kind of
once we get
connections.
into them, yes, that's where the Holy Spirit is 100% involved in this process. Because
Well,
there's
thanks for the
always
heads up,
teachers.
Peter. I will introduce myself as a fellow PK. So
That's fantastic. Awesome. So Peter, any final words before you need to slip off?
And the only thing I would say is, we've got a document, we've got a description, we've got a couple of dates. I think sometimes it's pretty basic from the standpoint of when you became a member of DCPC, what helped you feel connected and find your way? Who helped you feel connected and find your way? Be those people, do those things. Or if there were some things that could have helped you feel more connected, would have helped you better dive in and know more people, do those things you wish someone had done for you, do those things that you wish had been present. That's a one way to think about it, and you'll get some feedback / guidance from the people you're working with. Sometimes we have new members who've been with us for a while. Like they know how to be, they're already more connected perhaps than their host family. And so, you're going to kind of read the situation, but what helped you or what do you wish you had? Keep those things in mind and you'll be great.
Awesome.
And
It's so
again,
funny.
thank you, everybody.
I'm watching Motria. You and Motria are in the same place at the same time. That's
Yeah.
Marjorie.
and other people
That's fun.
too.
That's fun. They're actually all heading to a session meeting. So have a good one. All right. So thank you, everybody. Molly, I did just get your chat message. So you'll be there on Sunday, but you can't be there for the gathering.
Correct. We're going to
Okay.
be out of town for that, but like I said, we'll connect with them separately and offer to grab coffee or a drink or something along those
Perfect.
lines.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
So Stephanie, when are you sending out?
Good response.
Oh, was that Marjorie? Oh.
I was just going to ask, when do we get the whole class?
I am still actually waiting for some pictures. So I'm
Okay.
going to put together a document that's a pictorial directory basically of the new members. And you'll probably get that Friday. And if it gets too long and I still haven't gotten some of these pictures, I'll go ahead and send you the biographies at least.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then it goes out to the congregation next week in the newsletter. We'll have a whole document that's
Yeah.
finalized.
Perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, so Susan, your new member, do you know John and Missy Martin?
Yes, I do.
This is
And
John's
our
mother.
Rotary told me this is his mother, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so she has lots of connections at the church already, which is good.
Mhm.
All righty. Any other questions before we let you go? Nope. Okay, 15 minutes. We did it.
Thank
That's
you.
the definition of short right there.
Good job.
All right.
I wish
All right.
all my meetings were this short.
Exactly. Me too. All right. Take
Bye,
care, everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
We'll be thinking of you, Susan.
Thank you so much, Motria. I'll reach
Yeah,
out to Carol.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.